Almost late, not quite. Getting good at doing this, the last minute stuff. Not really how I like to be, but sometimes mornings are like that, aren't they? All right, coffee. Got my coffee. Got my tablet. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Friday, October 25th, 2019. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. My neck's tight. From the gym yesterday. So, yeah, it's Friday. Got a busy day. Woke up to a meeting cancellation, which opened some things up. And honestly, I think I'm going to take that time and split it. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to clean up the house. I have like 3 loads of laundry to put away. And do a little bit of work that's supposed to go to next week. There's always stuff, right? There's always stuff. Yeah. So there's this interesting thing going on right now. I don't remember if I mentioned yesterday. Yesterday, I spent a good chunk of the day, like 5-6 hours of the day, helping a friend on a job site. He does construction, has a small firm, and he's behind on some projects. And he said, "Hey, would you help?" And I said, "Sure." Because I've been doing a lot of that, try to keep things moving, right? And there's plenty more work. So I am likely to be doing that several times a week. Not quite sure the details yet. I'm going to figure out more on Monday. I'll be there on Monday. But what it might mean that first cup is earlier. I'm still going to do first cup, but I might have to get up earlier to get to the site at 7. And doing a 6:30 show isn't going to work for that. So I might be doing it at 6 or even 5:30. But I'll let you know. It's not what I want to happen. But what's interesting is that, so yesterday, I was at the job site until like 1:30. Went and got my teeth cleaned. And got back to the office. I spent 3 hours at the office and I did everything I needed to do. I don't know if you've heard the saying, the expression that tasks will expand to the time available, but I am so guilty of that. And I hate it about myself. I really do. You give me 4 hours to get a pile of work done, and I'll get it done. You give me 6, and I'll get the same amount of work done. And maybe that's why I put so much into that time, because it's the only way I'm productive. Gabe's asking how the coffee is today. I think I've just gotten used to it. It's really dark. I had to grind some more, and I looked at the beans, and they're really dark and really, there's a lot of oil on them. And I don't know. It's smooth. It's definitely not as bad as that first cup. I still think there was soap in there. But once I get through these 2 bags, I'm not buying them again. Until I forget that I didn't like it, and then I'll buy it again sometime. Happens. So today, what's happening today? Phone call, podcast interview. This is supposed to happen. We made an exception for this person in doing it on Friday because this is a person who, let's just say this person makes their money being on camera. I'll leave it there. And this is what worked. So we're going to do that. And then that meeting's canceled. So that gives me like 6 hours just opened up. Because I had to get ready for that meeting. Not much, but, and then travel time and all that. So it's going to be a much more relaxing Friday, which I don't hate. And I want to throw out, completely unrelated to anything related to martial arts. If you have Hulu, you should check out the show Letterkenny. Started watching it this week. Mr. Daniel Hart's good friend of the show. He suggested it to me, and it's really funny. It's really funny. Check it out. Now, I'm sure we got some questions in here. If you want to ask me a question, drop it below. I'll answer it tomorrow. What do we got? All right. The joke for Fun Day Friday. These jokes come in from Frank. Assistant producer, associate. I don't remember what title we gave. Frank, remind me what title I gave you. Did you hear about the candy race they have every year? They call it the Reese Cup. There's something to be said for this style of joke this early in the morning. Very appropriate. October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. Well, I wish I was. How practical is it to include a dog in your self-defense plans? I mean, there certainly are people who train dogs in that way. I don't know what the statistics are on violence being committed against people who have dogs with them, but my suspicion is it's lower. Especially much, I'd suspect much lower, especially if we're talking about large breeds, which is what you would want if you were involving the dog. I don't see anyone, teaching a Pomeranian to attack. But the other thing that's unfortunate that I'm thinking of is that if there was ever an issue with the dog, and it came out that the dog had been trained in that way, it's probably going to result in a lawsuit and the destruction they'll probably euthanize the dog. Some dogs take to that anyway. Some dogs are more prone to be defensive. German Shepherds are the breed that I'm experienced with that are like that. It's a different story if you're teaching the dog about defending the home. I don't quite think that's what Frank means. I don't think I have any other thoughts on that. It's not something I've ever considered. I mean, I'm visualizing walking down the street. I've got a dog. Somebody mugs me. I don't see it happening with a big dog. Muggers are looking for people that are okay being victims. Attackers want you to be a victim. Yeah. Certainly not teaching your dog martial arts. That'd be funny. Back on, what was that, episode 20 with Grandmaster Victor Moore, we hear about him teaching a monkey karate. I think he was the first person to do it, which is just, it's just hysterical. And there are videos. There are videos of him, photos of him and the monkey, and other people have done it since. But I don't think we can train any other animals to do martial arts. Although there's that video of is it a bear or a panda swinging around a staff like a bow and just getting crazy with it? That's also a funny one. How important do you think trust is in terms of running a martial arts class? I think it's critical. I don't know how you can teach martial arts to people who don't trust you. And as the complexity of the drills, the risk moves up, as their rank moves up, the trust has to move up, or they're going to leave. Martial arts is one of those places read that in a minute, Stacy. Martial arts is one of those places where trust is kind of assumed. You know, when you walk in, you assume the person instructing the class is trustworthy. But the moment that trust is broken, people leave. And that happens all the time. Maybe not in every school, but it does happen. And I think it's a good thing to think about because not everyone thinks about trust. I think trust is a pretty critical component of everything in life, of who we spend our time with, professionally, personally. If you don't trust the people that you're around, it's pretty stressful. I have been in situations where I won't say I was forced or required, but where I did not trust some of the people I was spending time with. But the consequence, I don't need to go on. Let's just say, I've been in these situations, not in, has it happened in a martial arts setting? There are certainly people I've trained with. There was one school I trained at in college. It was the martial arts club on campus. And I wasn't fond of the instruction. I was there for 2 years because I didn't have a car. Trained for a couple years. Enjoyed some of the people, enjoyed learning new things. And then the people leading the class, it just wasn't one of them, and I'm remembering even a specific situation. It was the last time I was there. I had knee issues, and it was restricting my ability to get low in my stances. And this person who was assistant instructing in the class came over and just kicked me behind the knee. And I said, hey, I have some knee stuff. And from what I remember, he was, he apologized, but it was pretty hollow. That was the last time I went to class. I was training capoeira, so I shifted into, so I was still doing that. And I got a car within a couple months, and that's when I was able to train with Sensei now, Shihan Wayne Mello, who was part of the reason I went to school there anyway, so I could train with him. So, yeah. Assume the best of people. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't kick people behind the knee and assume that they're just being lazy when everything else about their training suggests that they're not lazy. How important do you think having fun is in a martial arts class? I think it's job number one. I think it needs to be enjoyable. A lot of people hear fun and they assume I mean games. Stacy said, of going back to the video or going back to dogs and martial arts, video of Chihuahuas doing Chongji, which is the first form in ITF Taekwondo. Very similar to like Pinyan or Heian Shodan or Taikyoko 1. Would be epic. And I agree. Watching a bunch of dogs. Instead of dogs playing poker, dogs doing Chongji. That'd be good times. So when people hear having fun in martial arts training, some of them assume you mean games and watering down martial arts. That's not what it means. Fun is energy. I can have fun doing basics up and down the floor in the right setting. I can also have a miserable time playing some creative game. Depends on who I'm with, it depends on the energy, it depends on so many factors. But if you focus on making it fun, everything else can fall into place. If it's not fun, it's probably not going to fall into place. Martial arts training has to be sustainable in order to get the most benefit out of it. So if you show up and you're saying, you know what, I'm learning and I'm getting better and I'm not enjoying myself, you can push through that. But if it doesn't look like it's ever going to be fun, that's not going to last. It's not sustainable. And if you're not having fun training, the instructor's probably not having fun teaching, which means they're not going to do it. If a martial arts instructor is not having fun teaching and they're doing it long term, they're doing it for money. It's not a good sign. Because then a lot of things just don't go the way they should. So I see fun as the foundation. They're all different kinds of fun. Fun doesn't mean watered down. Fun doesn't mean you don't learn things. Fun means, I wonder if there's another word. Enjoyable, I think is probably what I mean when I say fun. There were classes in college I enjoyed, but I don't know that I would call them fun. So if we want to make a distinction between those two words, fun is important. You have to have some fun, but enjoyment is. Yeah. If you've ever taught children, you know the importance of this. You have classes where they have a good time, you have a good time. They learn much more. You get through more material. They retain more material. There are fewer discipline problems. Kids will create their own fun. If you're not giving them fun, they're going to make it themselves. I think it's what's in the instructor's heart when they're teaching. It's about giving back energy to the class and taking some of it. There are a lot of things that I could probably talk about with regards to teaching and instruction. And to be honest, here I'll share something with you guys. We're in the midst of adding this massive component to whistlekick around helping schools, martial arts schools. There are a lot of things coming. The first thing that we're going to launch, and I should be recording information on this next week, is around consulting. Taking all the things that I do for businesses, outside of whistlekick, and offering it within whistlekick to businesses. Marketing, consulting, growth. And for specific problems that I'm not able to solve, I've got a huge library of people that I can connect people with that most of them offer that kind of service. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Well, it's Friday. I'm gonna go make another cup of coffee, make some breakfast. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on notifications because we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m., at least for now, Eastern, here on YouTube. You can catch it later, of course, on YouTube. You can catch it later in audio form. If you want to ask a question, drop it below. I'll answer it the next day. And what am I doing this weekend? Cleaning up the yard, getting ready for winter. Hanging out with some friends. Might do some Halloween stuff. I guess somebody really wants to go to a Halloween party, so we may go. Well, all right, here's your homework. I want you to look at the things in your life that you do because they're fun and how that impacts your relationship to them. I've had jobs that were enjoyable. I've had jobs that were not. I know that the quality of my work at the enjoyable job was much better. So I want you to understand how fun or joy or enjoyment or however you want to use that word affects what you do in your day-to-day life. Understand the relationship it has to the time and the energy invested and the results. Okay. I'll see you back here Monday. Hope you have a great weekend. Take care. Peace.